It's been a minute since we kicked the basics, so let's revisit a topic that we haven't touched since we started this channel back last year. This is for the homie Kevin who left a comment the other day asking about savings accounts. You ask, we deliver. You're watching Sekkider, and this is step-by-step savings accounts. Now before we continue, we'd like to ask that you do us a quick favor, scroll down, like this video and subscribe to the channel, and keep up with the content that we release in the future. Also, this is just a quick reminder that these videos are meant for educational purposes only and are not meant to replace any legal or financial advice from a paid professional. Now let's get to it. Alright, so opening a new savings account in your bank app will require a few things before you start. First, you're going to actually have to have an account on file with the bank that you're signing up for. That means you got to go in person and do some paperwork face to face. It's unideal, but think about it this way. Once you're set up, you'll only have to visit the branch for some specialty stuff or if your app isn't working. That being said, before you go in, it would be really helpful to call ahead and ask what kind of things they'll need you to bring in to get you into their system. Usually it's something like a passport and visa, or your ARC if you have it, your mailing address if you don't have your ARC with you, your phone number, and for some banks you may need a certificate of employment, but once again, call ahead, see what you actually need. Most of the big cities tend to have English speakers on hand, but for a lot of them you may need to familiarize yourself with these terms that we'll be talking about in the following few minutes. Alright, so you go to the bank and they ask you what you want. Easiest way to start would be simply saying that you want to join the bank, at which point they'll ask you for your related documents. The easiest account to set up when you're first joining the bank would be a liquidity account. These are called Yejakum Accounts. But if you're not fully accustomed to pronouncing Korean syllables and find yourself getting tongue-tied halfway through, it may just be helpful to save yourself the effort, copy this down, and slide it to the teller when they ask you what you want. At this point, they'll bang away at their keyboard and print some documents for you to sign. Generally, these documents contain basic information about the account that you're signing up for with regards to things like interest rates or terms and conditions. Once you're done this, they'll hand you your ARC back as well as your documents, and they'll also give you a few things that go along with the account, namely your check card, aka your ATM card, your 계좌 통장 or the account book, and your 보안 카드, which is basically a number key that works as an extra layer of security for whenever you want to do any money transferring through your app. Now, if y'all been here for a while, you've probably already done this next part, so you may want to skip ahead a little bit, but if you're new, stick around right here because most banks have a corresponding bank app that allows you to do basic functions like see your existing accounts and make money transfers. Now, depending on the bank, you may also have an option to use either an English version or a Korean version. The English version of bank apps are decent as they allow you to do extremely basic stuff like check your account history, and transfer money if, let's say, you want to pay your bills. But the English apps are really quite restrictive when compared to the full version Korean ones, which is why when you're sitting there as the bank teller is jamming away at their keyboard, it would benefit you to search up that version, and once they hand the papers back to you, ask them to help you set it up. It's pretty basic, and if your Korean is decent enough, you could do it alone at home, but it's always good to have somebody help you when they actually know what they're doing. Really though, they're there to help you, they get paid to help you, so ask them for help if you actually feel like you'll need it. Alright, now we're ready. You have your account, you have your Korean app, and you have your mind in the right place. So let's look for some savings accounts. I'm gonna do a real quick review of what went down in the last video on this topic because there are a few things that you need to know that I can just kind of skim through. Just check the other video if this is too fast for you. Basically, there are three main types of savings accounts, and I'm gonna use my NH Bank app to demonstrate the steps to take when signing up for one online. Keep in mind that all bank apps have different layouts, but they all use relatively similar terms. Alright, step 1. First thing you want to find is something called 금융상품몰. This basically translates to financial product mall. And since we're looking for financial products, it makes sense to check their online mall. Other apps that I've seen just say 상품몰 or 금융상품, but it's all pretty much the same thing, right? 상품, products. Alright, now, step 2. We've got a few categories to choose from. Depending on the type of account you want to open, you'll want to click on one of the following. 입출금, which we've already talked about as liquidity accounts. 예 or 적금 accounts, which are timed savings accounts. And then you may see a fund category, which is for mutual funds and index funds, and I'm not going to talk about that much today because, again, we have another video on that. Alright, Given that you've already just opened a liquidity account, I want to look at the Yejakum accounts instead, and this is where it can get a little bit tricky. An important thing to note is that Yejakum accounts work such that your money is locked up for the length of the contract, whereas Yejakum accounts allow you to add more money over the length of the contract. Both types are locked in for a specific amount of time, so they tend to be categorized together. Alright, next thing. Step 3. Read the specifics of each account. Now, my app lets me choose between two organization options, sort by interest rates or sort by most recent. If you're looking at the list for the first time, maybe just look by interest rate. Now, once you've picked an account, click through and you'll likely find a page that looks like this. This page will tell you most of what you need to know, such as the restrictions on the account, the length of the account, the highest possible interest rate, and the maximum monthly deposit. Scrolling down, we see a few things of importance, like the specifics of the account. For example, this one allows you for an automatic monthly deposit, whereas another one runs on daily deposits. You'll obviously want to read over these pages before signing up, although I will say that the former is much more common than the latter. Alright, move on. Once you've decided that you want to sign up for an account, you'll want to click on 가입하기 or 계좌 가입. It's whatever button has 가입 in it. Now, if you immediately get an alert like this one, then chances are you don't qualify for the account. This one specifically says that I can only have one kind of this account at any given time. Another possible error that may arise may be due to something like a failure to meet the age restrictions. Either way, if there's an error, read the error, it'll tell you what's wrong. Now, once you clear that initial screen, my bank app will bring up the terms of the account as well as the official documents that, had you gone into the bank to open in person, you would have had to sign them by hand. At this screen, just click 동의 once you've read through all the details and make sure that you read through the optional agreements, because sometimes optional agreements like marketing will affect your potential interest rates. I've had accounts in the past that have given me an extra 0.3% for accepting the occasional ad via notification. No biggie for me, but if you'd rather not, then don't worry about it. Either way, read the terms of the account so that you know what to do. Finally, once you're cleared that, all you have to do is select a starting date and a starting amount, and if necessary, the dates and the amounts that you want to auto-transfer. As long as you don't mess anything up or forget to fill out a category, now all you have to do is click the final 가입 or 확인 button, and bang bang, you're good to go. Now, the sign up for mutual funds is a little bit different, but mostly the same. So if you have any specific questions, hit us up in the comment section below. Otherwise, there really ain't much else to it. Keep in mind that some banks may put restrictions on what types of accounts you can open online, and to be honest, if you really don't feel comfortable doing this, you could always just do your research online, bring in the app, show them what account you want to sign up for, and they'll tell you whether or not you can do it, and they'll do it for you, right? Like, the whole point of being able to do it online is that you don't have to actually do any face-to-face stuff. But if you're more comfortable doing face-to-face stuff, knowing that you'll be able to communicate what you want and they'll be able to do it for you, then you could always do that as well. This will just save you time, go to the bank, and you also, if you work during the day, you won't have to take time off of work. Unless you want to. I don't know, it's your life. Alright, anyways, that's enough from me. Happy Seollal, everyone. I'll catch you next week. We'll come back with another What We're Watching, which we haven't done this week because it's a short week. Alright, peace.